it's Christine, and I am up today with a layout for the scrap room. This one uses the new PhotoPlay collection called Little Chef, and of course it has lots of fun baking stuff as well as cooking stuff, and is just perfect for all kinds of everyday life pictures as well as fun moment pictures. So I am going to use it to do some pictures that are not necessarily great close-ups, but they're fun candids of my youngest son and my niece and nephew decorating cookies. So because there's so many cool patterns in this, I wanted to make use of a lot of them. So I am cutting 2-inch wide strips by 5-inch tall strips. Then I'm going to fold those in half, and I'm going to trim off the edges to turn them into a triangle. And I am going to use these to create kind of a fan look, and I'm going to do about half a circle. So I am just kind of guesstimating how many I'm going to need. I may need to go back and do some more. All in, I can tell you that at the end of the layout, in order to cover a half circle, I needed a total of 19 strips. Now, I was not super careful laying them down, so it might be closer together. You might need 20, you might need 18, but that should give you a general ballpark. Again, they are 5 inches tall by 2 inches wide, and I'm literally just folding them in half because I'm going to make use of that fold. Another approach you could certainly do with this, and you'll see from my final product, you could definitely cut this on an electronic cutting machine. If you have one and want to utilize it that way. So how I'm going to lay these out, I am going to keep that fold and make use of it, and I am going to just attach 1/2 of that fold to the layout. So I've marked on my paper where 6 inches is on both sides, so I can kind of try and keep it close to there. And then I am going to begin to attach one side of each of these. I am going to keep my colors. I'll do one with a white background, then one with a solid background, then one with the white, then solid, so on and so forth. So that did take some consideration. And I did make use of the papers in the patterned paper add-on as well for this. So that's, if you're seeing some papers that maybe you don't have because you didn't get the patterned paper add-on, that's where those are coming in. You can totally still make this work with just the regular kit. You just will get a slightly different color scheme than I have. It does require some concentration to keep straight which side to put your adhesive on. I'm not going to tell you how many I messed up. You will probably see some of them in the video, but suffice it to say, having a few extras on hand is a good idea. And you will also notice I'm using the front and the back side of some papers. So for example, the teal polka dot is striped on the back. And so I cut more of those ones that I wanted to use both sides of. Another thing to note is that I didn't worry about what the pattern is. So yeah, I have the mac and cheese paper in there. Whatever. I liked the color of the yellow. No one, even though I'm doing a baking layout or a cookie decorating layout, I'm not really worried about too much about the content there. Now, if it was obvious, like there was hamburgers on there and it really stood out, then it would be different. But because it's yellow and it's monochromatic, I just rolled with it. So as I add each one, I am just attaching it where the fold line is, or at least really close to it. I was not super duper careful about that. Now, one thing I do want to note that I would do differently if I was going to do it again, but I was not going to take this all apart and start over. I would switch the direction of my fold in the middle of this because I think it would give a neater edge once we come to the end of the half circle. Can't say for sure because I didn't try it, but I think if I did that, it would have worked a little bit more smoothly. But time consuming for sure. Cutting all these, attaching all these, making sure you're attaching them correct. This wasn't a super fast process. So thus, I did not want to tear it all up and start all over again. And honestly, I'm happy with how it looks. I just think I would like it a little more, and it would have been a little bit easier if I had switched the fold halfway through. So we're going to get all of those on there, and then we're going to finish off this layout. So now, because it's a half circle, I need to do something to kind of finish it off. And you can see right now what I was just talking about. I don't like the way side ends on the left-hand side. However, we're still going to roll with it. So I'm going to add a strip of the teal paper with the polka dots, and I'm also going to add a strip of the yellow paper, and that is going to be my base area for my pictures that I'm going to add onto it. So originally I thought when I was doing this and I had the fold up, I was going to try and keep them real upright as far as the fold goes. But in the end, I kind of flatten them out so it's not quite so big. It's kind of funny. It ends up looking like one of those folded accordion circle flowers that were really popular several years ago. Now there's a lot of paper involved here. So but it has kind of a similar feel and vibe to that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add that circle sticker there just to cover up the messier ends there in the middle. And I did use some foam tape to add that on there. For my pictures, I'm going to use 3 of them, and I am going to cut them down to be 3 inches wide by 4 inches tall. Pretty standard size for what I like to use when I'm doing multi-photo layouts. I do have 2 pictures that are closer up, so I'm going to put those on the outside, and then I have one that's zoomed out a little bit, and so I'll put that in the middle to kind of bring the whole thing together. I'm going to use that pink patterned paper with the baking supplies, cookie decorating supplies on it to mat all my pictures, and just to, my niece is wearing pink in the picture, so it just makes that pop a little bit more. So I'll mat all of those with a 1/4 inch mat all the way around. As I'm adding those, I'll remind you this is a page kit from the Flavors of the Month kit from the Scrap Room. So this is one of 4 page kits that comes in that kit this month. Wide variety of colors and subjects this month. So really fun to work with. And you can also add on patterned paper kit. You can add on embellishment kit. You can add on cardstock. You can get the double shot kit, all those things. So lots of options that I will link you up to down below. Always fun to get my Scrap Room stuff. So finally, I'm going to add on my title. That was a little challenge, so I did that off camera, but I ended up adding sweet and salty because I thought that was cute for kids. And then I added those 2 hearts around the outside of that. And then up top, I'm going to add some words as well on the 2 outside pictures and some embellishment stickers. So I went with the frosting bag and I went with the whisk on those. And then that's it. I'm not going to do any more because I've got a really complicated, busy background already. It doesn't need a lot. So there you have it. Be sure to visit the Scrap Room and check it out, and we will see you next time.